Well, hello again, everybody. Mr. Reeves back with you as we continue to look at lesson 8.1 Understanding Percent. So, in our previous video, we took a look at using a grid to model percent, and now we're going to dive into connecting fractions and percents. Connecting fractions and percents. So let me do this real quick. Let me pull up these fraction strips. You can see they all have the same length, so they each represent one whole, but they are divided into parts. So this first one is just one part, so it's one whole, and this one's cut into two parts, so each one is a half. Three parts, each one is a third, all the way down to 12 parts, and each one is a 12th. So what we're interested in doing is taking a look at these and writing them as percents. So how do you change from a fraction to a percent? Well, it's actually pretty straightforward. If you remember, the denominator for a percent is always 100, right? So percent always will be over 100. So we simply have to say how many of these will go into 100. All right, so one whole, I think you would agree, is 100%. And the reason is because 100 divided by 1 is 100. So one whole is 100%. Now, if we take a look at a half, well, now you notice that denominator is 2. So I'm going to take that 100 and I'm going to break it up into two parts, right? So that 100% broken up into two parts, well, then each part is 50%. 50%. Let me do this. Let me change this to, how about yellow? Let's try yellow here. All right, and let's make it a little bit wider than what we have. All right, we'll go with that. So this one is 50%. And of course, you know that 50% plus 50% makes 100%, right? So I'm going to skip third here just for a minute and go to fourths. We'll come back to thirds. 100 divided by 4 is what? 25. So that means that a fourth is 25%. Each one of these is 25%. You know what? I'm going to take off the percents on these and just put 100 divided by 1 is 100. 100 divided by 2 is 50. 100 divided by 4 is 25. So these fractions actually are the percent. So 1/4 is 25%. All right, so each of these would be 25%. And of course, 25 4 times gives us 100, right? What about 5? If I do 100 divided by 5, what do I get? I get 20. So what does that tell me? That tells me that 1/5 is 20%. And if you count by 20s, 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100. All right, now let's go back to thirds. I think many of you probably know why I skipped thirds initially. It's because 3 does not go into 100 evenly. All right, so if you do 100 divided by 3, you get 33, but 33 times 3 is 99. And so then we actually get 1 left over, so it's 1/3. So 1/3 is kind of a weird one. You get 33 and 1/3%, right? 33 and 1/3%. So if you need to take a fraction where, again, this is where the numerator is 1, and you want to find out what it is as a percent, you simply divide by that number. So if I wanted to know what 1/6 was, I would do 100 divided by 6. If I wanted to know, I think they do 1/8. We're out of there. I think they skip sevenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this one would be 100 divided by 8. That one actually turns out to be 12.5. All right, this one's going to have to be 1/6 is going to be half of 33 and a third. So we'll get back to that one later. All right, but you see how that works? All right. And then if you want to know what 2/3 is, you just take 2 of those 33 and thirds. Or maybe you want to know what 3/5 is, then you would do that as well. So if we go back to the textbook here, all right, just to look at their model, they've taken 1 and they've divided it into 4 parts, right? So if we were writing on here, we would have, that would be 1/4. This right here would be 2/4. This would be 3/4, right? Well, 1/4 we said 100 divided by 4 is 25, so that would be 25%. This one would be 50%. This one would be 75%, and that would be 100, right? And again, the third was the one that we had said you divide by 3. It's kind of unusual. This would be 1/3, 2/3, and of course 3/3. 1/3 we said was 33 and 1/3%. This would be 66 and 2/3%, and so on from there. All right, and again, if you said, okay, what if I had 5/8 and I want to know what that is as a percent? Well, we could simply say 1/8. Well, 1/8 was 12.5%, and then we're going to multiply that by 5, and that would give us what we would have. 5 times 12.5. Well, 5 times 12 is 60, and we would get 62.5%. Okay, there's some other ways you can do it, but that is the way you can go by first connecting what we are going to call in just a moment here in our next video, benchmark percents. All right, and that's what we're going to do in that next video coming right up. Thanks for watching this one. Till next time.